Hello everyone, how's it going? Just wanted to make a video about my brand new car that I just bought, and it is a Ford Fiesta S Hatchback, which basically means it's a base model. And I'm going to go around it and show you guys what you get for your money if you are considering buying the, at least I believe it's the cheapest Ford in America you can buy. There are a couple other cheaper cars, but they're offering quite a bit of incentives, at least right now. I think they go, I've seen a couple differing reports. You can get $3,000 off through, it's either September 5th or October 2nd. I don't even know. Anyway, I'm just gonna start, I'm gonna kind of point out the differences between this and the higher end models in case you're interested, at least the ones that I know. But anyway, to start off, basically should mention the total price first. This car has an MSRP of $14,800 with the manual transmission. If you want the 6-speed automatic, it costs an additional $1,100, which personally I would avoid. This is also the hatchback version, which does increase the price by about $600. If you prefer the sedan, you can get this car about $600 cheaper. So I paid basically $11,600 for this car after the $3,000 incentive, and the dealer was offering a bit of a discount. So taxes, of course, and registration will vary by where you live, but in effect this car was under $13,000 out the door. And there are probably deals to be had on them, so you can get them even cheaper, or if you don't pay taxes you can obviously get them cheaper. But anyway, onto the car. The first thing you'll obviously notice is the wheels are not alloys. They are steel wheels with hubcaps. Personally, I didn't really care about that because these wheels would probably get higher fuel economy than the alloy wheels. And if you actually want a set of Fiesta alloy wheels, there's millions of them on eBay for very cheap. But personally, I think they look fine. I don't think I'm really going to impress anyone with alloy wheels on a Ford Fiesta. But in any case, I also should mention the only 3 colors on the base model are black, white, and silver, which to me is fine because I would have got black either way. Silver is also a good color, and I have not seen the white in person, but it does look good, at least in videos I've seen. Onto the front, this front was restyled in 2014, I believe, on all Fiestas, and they do I don't know if this is an option for 2017, but they do include a chrome grille on all models, which I think looks really good, especially in black. Get a halogen headlights. You do not get fog lights obviously on the base model, but I believe you have to go up to the titanium, which is the highest trim level, to get fog lights at all on the Fiesta, so I wouldn't have had them even if I got the mid-level model. Not too many differences. Sun might be a bit bright. I'm not sure how the video is coming out. One difference you'll obviously see on the back is all Fiestas get, the name of the car on the right, and on the left there's no badging for the base model. You will get an SE there, or titanium if you get the mid-level or highest level trim. As I said, this is available in a sedan also, but it could be more practical. The hatchback has a tiny bit more volume room, but obviously that counts stacking it to the top of the car. Hatchback is longer, so it could be a better option, and it's obviously cheaper. But now to go inside, where you can definitely see some of the differences between this and the mid or cheap models. One thing is that interior is all black. I've seen that higher end versions, like for example the door handle, is silver. I also want to mention that show you guys the key. This car does have keyless entry, panic button, trunk release. This was new on 2016 for the base model. In case you're looking for a used one, get one prior to that, it would not have keyless entry. Door panels obviously all hard plastic, but this part where you rest your arm is soft. You do get wind-up windows on the base model, and there's a cup holder in the door. Wind-up windows to me is something I don't really care about because this car obviously has air conditioning, so 99% of the time, I'm going to have the air conditioning on or the heater, depending on if it's summer or winter where I live. Anyway, onto the inside, guess I'll show you what's on the left of the steering wheel controls. You have your light controls here, and these are the panel dimmer settings. There are manual lights. There's no daytime running lights, at least on this car. Oh, the sun's gonna burn it, but okay, here's the gauge cluster. Get the key out so I can turn on. Oh, I always forget. See, I haven't had a manual, so I have to have my clutch to start it. Anyways, the gauge cluster. You have a nice big RPM gauge on the left, nice big speedometer on the right, fuel gauge down below. You have your temperature gauge, which is digital in the middle. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I mean, I guess it works. On the base model, all you have, your option is your odometer, which on this car is 172 miles right now, or your trip meter, 51.9 currently. Those are the only two. You don't get instant fuel economy or miles to empty, but I always thought miles to empty was stupid because, I mean, cars have gas gauges. Why do you need miles to empty? But yeah, that's the gauge. I think the gauge cluster is really nice and bright. I haven't driven it at night yet, so but it's very nice. But anyway, onto the steering wheel. The biggest omission is that you do not get cruise control on the base model, but there is a kit for $280 you can add it yourself or probably pay someone $100 to install it. So it hasn't bothered me yet. I've only driven 50 miles, but my car I was driving didn't have cruise control either. But I imagine if you're going to take a road trip, it could be annoying. So maybe someday I will purchase that. On the left, you do have, this is your voice command. This car has Bluetooth streaming and Bluetooth calling and all that, which is standard. I don't know when they added it to the base model, but it's standard on all Fiestas. You can adjust your volume up and down, all the phone controls basically. On the left, you just have your turn signal controls. On the right is your wiper controls. This car does have a rear windshield wiper. This is your center console. I don't know how well you'll even be able to see it. I need to move the car. But this is your center screen. As you can see, it displays what media you are playing. There you go. What media you're playing, your battery level of your phone, your signal strength of your phone, how many bars you have, which direction you're going, the time, all that type of stuff. You can switch obviously between radio, your phone, this media, so that'd be Bluetooth, your phone or whatever. Phone for calling, the sound settings, and then the menu. The only car settings are turning on and off the traction control and your hill start assist. Personally, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the center stack, but I don't really use it. I just basically, all I care about in the car is being able to plug my phone in and stream whatever I want to stream on my phone. So basically I'll show you down here. Here's the climate controls down at the bottom. Obviously, it's pretty simple. You just turn this. This is your fan speed, different zones, recirculating, AC, temperature section, and your rear window defrost is in the center there. This car is a 5-speed manual. You can get an automatic for $1,100 more if you want. It is the power shift transmission, which has had issues in the past, though I have that exact same transmission on my Ford Focus, and as of I have about 55,000 miles on it, and I have no issues. You get the storage here, though I'm not really sure what you'd put in here. It would probably fall out. Down here, really conveniently located, is your 12-volt adapter, USB in for your phone, and then you have an auxiliary input if you still use that. You then have 2 cup holders here, parking brake, and then back here you have another cup holder. Take that out. On higher trim Fiestas, this would be an armrest with center storage, but because I'm only 5'4", this armrest is too far back for me to even use, so I didn't really care if I didn't have it. This also will lift out, and there's coin storage underneath, or if you need an even bigger cup holder. This also would work for the rear seat passengers, as the other Fiestas obviously would not have that. The material is, this is softer touch right here. The other is hard touch. So they made it all one color on the base model. I'm sure you get different accents for higher trim levels, but one thing I appreciate is I don't think there's any blank buttons on this car, which is very nice. So even though you bought the base model, there's not 400 blank buttons everywhere that show off to everyone that you are cheap or bought the base model. Oh, there is a CD player. I mean, I don't know when the last time I used CDs, but if you still use them, you even get that in the base model. Glove box, I don't know, it's a glove box. It's medium sized, I guess, not too big or too small. You do get this radio is 6 speakers, by the way. So unlike the Nissan Versa, we get like 2. You get obviously the ones in the lower doors, ones in the middle, tweeters up there, and you get some in the back. As for the radio, it sounds fine to me, though I don't really listen to music. I basically only listen to either podcasts or audiobooks, and it's perfect for that. I believe this is the only type of upholstery you can get in this car, which is black, kind of two-tone black and gray, but to me, I'd get a black interior anyway in a black car, so that's fine. The headrests do go up and down. They do not tilt forward for the front, so if you like headrests that tilt forward, you might want to go to a higher trim if that's even an option. As for the lights, you do have vanity mirrors, but there are no lights in the vanity mirrors, which I've never used them anyway. You do get center lights. These can move around to point wherever. This is your microphone for your Bluetooth phone. Same stuff on the other side. No vanity lights in the mirrors. You do get these vents you can turn all over and they'll stay in place. My mom really likes those for some reason. It's the first thing she noticed, I guess. On higher trim levels, you can get blue accent lighting where you can like change the color. So there'd be like an LED strip in here. It'd be inside the cup holders. I pretty much turned it off on my Focus. I didn't really like it or use it that much. Up here you get rearview mirror. It's not manually dimming, I guess. I don't know. The base model does not come with satellite radio. If that's something you use, I never use it. I don't really have any interest in buying it, so I didn't care. But if you might want to move up to a higher trim model if you want that. I'm trying to think what else you don't get. Yeah, that's about it for the interior. All your warning messages are displayed on the center screen, so they didn't omit that just because you bought the cheaper car. On the Focus, it's displayed in the middle. On higher trim models, I still think it's displayed in the middle. Oh, there's no backup camera. On the Fiesta, the only way to get a backup camera, I believe, is to get the highest trim version of the car, the titanium. But anyway, I'll take you around to the back seats and stuff like that. I think I mentioned this car has door pockets on the doors right here. Definitely big enough to store a water bottle. And one on the oh, there you go. Demonstrating it right there. This car does come with front floor mats from the factory, if that's something you wanted to know. I'll probably might make a separate video about the driving experience, but I've only driven about 50 miles so far. But the clutch is super light. This car's super easy to drive, at least compared to my RX-8. The one thing you will notice is it does not have a 6th gear, which is the only thing I've noticed about that is driving on the highway. Once you get above about 75 miles an hour, the engine is spinning over 3,000 RPM and starts to get a little loud. So if you do a lot of 80 or 85 mile per hour highway commuting and you're interested in this car, you might want to go with the 6-speed automatic. But otherwise, I would stick this 6-speed. Also supposedly gets higher fuel mileage, but since it's $1,100 more, it would probably take you 500,000 miles to make up that 1 or 2 miles per gallon difference. The car also has like 7 airbags, front airbag, side. Obviously, there's knee airbags in Fords. But yeah, I'll take you to the back of the car now. Obviously it looks like there's gonna be more room than there actually is, because as I said, I'm only 5'4", so there's plenty of room in the back. But if you're sitting behind someone who's 6 feet tall, you're not really gonna have much space in the back of the car here. I don't know, there's not really much to say. The door panels, there's no soft touch material on the doors, there's no pocket on the door. On the back of the seats, there is, I don't know what those called, pockets in the back, I guess. There is a cutout for your knee to help with it. One thing that's omitted from the base model is on every other trim, there's a rear power outlet right here. And obviously there's a center storage, but I guess they get a cup holder in this instead of that. To me, that's not big of a deal because I don't really have any backseat passengers. I mean, it'll work in a pinch. I mean, I said there's plenty of room. The seats are not that comfortable. Headrest, I guess they do kind of, I guess it's just they tilt forward. That's how you fold the seats down. Here's the car window sticker. As you can see, $14,835. The dealer was selling it for me for $14,600, and there was a $3,000 incentive, so essentially it was $11,600 before taxes. As I said, the hatchback is about a $600 option, so you can get this car cheaper if you prefer the sedan version. I just want to show you all the standard features you can get. This car does have stability control and traction control. Tire pressure, that's all pretty much standard. This is for the United States. Delivery, I guess, could be different in other parts of the world. I'm not really sure. Oh, I guess I got a front license plate bracket for free, but as I said, the only options on this car are the $1,100 automatic transmission. Otherwise, you have to move up to a higher trim vehicle. This is the fuel economy ratings, 27 city, 35 highway, average of 30. I've seen people online getting more than 40, so hopefully I can do that. Crash test rating information. Okay. There's no center armrest in the back seat or anything like that. The reason these fold down like this is to fold them down, but I'll show you the back before I fold them down. Back of the car, you do get rear wiper, window defrost. There's plenty of, I think there's like 15 cubic feet of space. There is plenty of room. I mean, if my wife and I were taking this car on a vacation, there would easily be enough room for our bags or whatever. Even if we had a kid, I would think there'd be enough room. Now, it does go a lot further down than the bumper. There's a good, maybe almost foot lower than the actual loading, so that could be annoying if you have super heavy items. Move my air pump out of the way. Underneath, all Fiestas come with a spare tire, which is really nice of Ford, even on the base. They don't come with jumper cables, those are mine, but a lot of cars, I read like 50-something% of new cars are not even sold with spare tires anymore. So it's nice of Ford that even on the cheapest car you do get it's not a full-size spare, I do not believe. It's just a donut, but yeah. I wonder if you could fit a full size in there if you wanted, maybe, but in any case, that's what you get. On higher trim models, you can get it. Well, I'll show you after I fold the seats down. I don't believe you get a cargo cover too. This is removable. Get rid of this. To fold the seats down, you're going to want to put the headrest like that, and there's just a button right here. And they do have a 60 folding split. They do not fold completely flat. Obviously, this seat's almost pretty far forward, but even if the seat was all the way back, you can still fold the seats down. You just have to drop the headrest like that, obviously. So I'll show you in the back how it is not a flat load floor, which is one thing I don't like about the car, but it's not a huge deal, I guess. My Focus can fold the seats completely flat because the front portion would flip up. And not much to say about the trunk. It is plenty big enough for a small car. And if you need, I don't know if it's more room, it's about the same cubic feet volume, but they count on the hatchback of being able to stack it all the way to the ceiling. So the sedan is longer, so if you have longer items, you might want to go with the sedan over the hatchback. It's also cheaper, as I've said a couple times. I believe these are for child seat restraints. I'm not 100% sure, but also you could, I guess, tie down cargo with them probably. Seat just lifts right back into place. You gotta mess with the seat belt to get it out in front of the seat though. There's a center headrest. This does seat 3, by the way. Well, supposedly there are 3 seat belts, so I mean, this car would be plenty if you had young children. I mean, if you want to transport 4 adults, I would not recommend this car except for short trips or something. You gotta get something bigger, most likely. But yeah, I guess I can show you, probably should show you the engine. There's a handle on the door, which I really like, so you don't have to like grab at the paint or anything. I don't know if I mentioned it, but you do get these blinds, or kind of fisheye blind spot mirrors on this car, which seem to be standard on all Ford models. They're really nice. My Focus has them too. Trunk release, very simple. See if I can do it with, no, I need 2 hands because it's got a hood drop. But in any case, there's the engine. Nothing too, it's I believe a 1.6 liter, naturally aspirated of course, produces about 120 horsepower, something like 114 pound-feet of torque or something like that. This is pretty much the engine on almost all Fiestas, unless you get the ST performance version, which is about 200 horsepower, or if you get the 1 liter turbocharged EcoBoost engine in the special trim level that, yeah, I wouldn't get that personally. There's been a lot of reports of it leaking coolant and stuff, but cracking heads. But yeah, I've really never heard of any problems with this engine, so this car should be reliable for a pretty long time. Yeah, that's the engine. If you do your own oil changes, I'm not sure, I don't know if you can see it, the filter's right there, which I don't know, seems like it's kind of, might be a bit hard to take off. You can see it down there, the white, there it is. But yeah, battery's easily accessible right here if you need to jump start someone or need to get jump started. They don't hide it away or in any weird place. They even include for extra sound deadening. And my door just closed because of the wind. Okay. But anyway, that's the my review of the initial review anyway of my brand new 2017 Ford Fiesta. And as I said, if you're interested in one, you should probably buy one in the next month or so, because I believe you can get, or any Fiesta, because you can get $3,000 off new ones. Possibly more. If you're, like if I had graduated college recently, I could have gotten another like $750 incentive and stuff like that. So yeah, for $11,600, this is a pretty good deal. I think it's definitely worth buying at this price point over the Mitsubishi Mirage or Chevy Spark or what's the other one, Nissan Versa. I didn't test drive any of those cars, but just from online reviews I could tell they weren't really for me. This car is much, I don't know, it's liking a bunch more. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll probably be more videos of this car eventually, but I hope I covered everything you could possibly want to know about the base model Ford Fiesta in hatchback form. Thanks for watching.